Anyway, getting back on top. Whoa, that was close. Getting back on the topic, as I was saying, basically sent her kind of an angry, not really just angry tweet, but more like a criticism, which I believe all journalists should, and just everyone in general should read. I'll try to remember to post it in the description if I can, to at the very least his message and maybe some of the videos that are in question if you haven't kept up with that kind of thing. But like I said, if you're pretty prevalent in following video game news and all that stuff, it shouldn't be anything new to you, really. Like, you're probably in the loop, I would say. So, damn it. Okay, well, that kind of worked out. So, drop and buy. But anyway, and then I fail to grab the freaking fence because I'm so good at what I do. Grab the fence, thank you. Thank you for grabbing the fence. I appreciate you grabbing the fence. That would be great. That is not a euphemism, by the way. But basically, his criticism for all of this was that the news corporations do a very, very bad job, if I can kind of elaborate on what I was saying. And I probably just kind of skipped over the subject that I was talking about, but it's related, okay? It's related. But god damn it, there we go. There we go. Shit needs to hurry up. Okay, thank you. What was I even talking about? I keep getting off subject because of the stupid levels. This is probably, I mean, I know I use Mario Hacks to talk about stuff, so I guess I can really only blame myself in that sense. But basically sent out a criticism to just all journalists in general, but basically people that have been kind of using video games as a scapegoat. He was saying that it's not cool that you guys do this, and that you pretty much go into this with kind of blindly in a way, because if you know anything, it's not just with video games, but with the media in general, what a lot of news corporations do is they don't do a whole lot of research into the matter of whatever it is that they're reporting on, which kind of defeats the purpose of journalism. If you're not, if you're kind of following me on that one, like, what is the point? Wow, okay, I did not expect my jump to reach that, but I don't know what the point of reporting on a matter is if you're not going to do research into it, because the whole point of doing a report, especially if you're going to report something live on television, or just do, if you're going to report on something or bring in some sort of news, like, you would think that you would want to be credible in a way and not just pander to some kind of sheep or crowd. I guess I can say sheep because that's what a lot of people are these days. They just kind of take things not really even at face value, they're just like, oh yeah, this person or these people said this, so they're obviously right, and I'm not even gonna look into it because that actually requires a brain and work, and I'm gonna trust these news corporations because they obviously already did the work for me. And that's kind of what you should expect from news personalities and all that stuff, and just journalism in general, because that's what is supposed to happen. But the way the world works today is that that's not the case. Like, a lot of people just kind of look at something and be like, oh right, like violence in video games, it's like, oh, so this person played violent video games, instead of actually looking into the subject matter. They're like, you know what, we could probably correlate this somehow. Or they're like, yeah, obviously, because they played Call of Duty or something, that's clearly some kind of shooting training simulator, which is another term that they like to use, which I guess before I even go on with that, I should probably get out of the screen. So in order to get to the island Yoshi pointed out, Mario had to go to the sky and defeat Roy, who was guarding the castle up there. Now Mario has to find the way underground, which I can only assume this brings me back down, and it does. So there we go. Was there another place around here? Like, hold on a second. Was there a section down this way? I'm probably just wasting your time. Huh. I don't believe I went to Morning Mountain, so I guess now's a good time as any to check it out, but anyway, yeah, a lot of people, like, the way that the world works, if you're not aware, at least in the United States, as far as news goes, is what the news does is they kind of they find pretty much any angle that they can use, even if it's a really weak one, and somehow they manage to spin it into, you know, this great and terrible tragic story, which, you know, a lot of the, I'm not saying that a lot of the stuff that's happened in America over the past, you know, year or so, with all the shootings, you know, Newtown, Aurora, you know, all that stuff, it's not that it's not tragic. It is very tragic, especially the whole Newtown thing. You know, why would anyone kill kids? You know, they're a future, and now that future, you know, part of that future has been silenced forever, and that's terrible. It sucks. And, you know, imagine how it would feel to be one of those parents, you know, that, you know, you lost your pride and joy forever, and there's nothing that you can do about it, and, you know, really there was nothing that could have been done about it, because you can't honestly know if these things are going to happen. Like, you can try to figure it out. I mean, a good example of that, you know, prevention and everything. Well, not really a good example, but I know one of the things that I said recently was one of the shows that I'm watching is Person of Interest, and the main plot behind that show is that this guy, this computer expert or scientist, or however you want to call it, is played by Michael Emerson, created this machine, and what this machine does is it illegally surveys everyone in the world. Yeah, pretty much everyone in the world, I'm sure, or at the very least, everyone in the United States. And it looks for red flags to figure out if these people, well, its main intention was to look for red flags to figure out if these people would be involved in some kind of terrorist activity. And what the machine ended up doing was it ended up just finding red flags in general for people that would just end up committing crimes or become a victim of a crime or a perpetrator of a crime, something like that. And I know I'm getting off topic. We'll eventually get back to that. But basically, when, you know, there are just things that are unavoidable, that are very unfortunate and very tragic. And as much as anyone would love to be able to prevent stuff all the time, it's just not possible. It really isn't. I mean, that's the reality of things, and it's an unfortunate reality, but, you know, you can't be prepared for everything. You know, you can only do so much to be prepared for something, and then you kind of have to not really hope, but, well, I guess kind of hope. You can, a lot of what happens in life is you can only be so prepared, and then a lot of stuff kind of relies on luck at the same time. And the case here with a lot of shootings and a lot of stuff is, while it would be great to be able to capture, you know, all of these people beforehand, it's just not possible. In the reality of things, in the way that, you know, the world works, it's just impossible to be able to do everything. And this is Level with a Secret, so we know that's where the keyhole is, and we need to find the key. But the reality of the world that I keep stating over and over again is that you cannot prevent everything. It is an unfortunate circumstance. I wish that more could be done to do that, but in a way, the only way to kind of really figure out this kind of thing is not just people have to become more aware, but we also have to make sort of leaps and bounds in technology, because technology is also another thing that'll help us do that kind of thing and to be more aware of stuff. I mean, as far as, like, you know, cybersecurity and all that stuff, and whatever. And now I'm kind of going off onto its own little tangent that we'll probably end up coming back to at some point. But you know, the idea, can't really do that. How would I get that? Would I have to do something like this? I wonder, could I make a... No, not quite. No, not that either. Oh, well, that was kind of almost it. Wait a second. Okay. I think I hit a piece, I think I hit a springboard down there, but hey, you know, that kind of works. But if I'm getting back to the subject at hand, as we take the Warp Star 3 to another level that's hopefully filled with Nyan Cat music, Clock Forest. No, not Nyan Cat music. Wow, I wouldn't have been able to get out of that if we had that switch. So it's kind of a good thing that I did not, as I get killed by that douche. Why can't I get that? Can I use this to get this? No. What about this? No, not that either. Okay, well. So much for that. Could I kill that thing? Thank you. In this place you can change the time of day. Green pipes will set the clock to 7 AM, yellow pipes to 5 PM, and purple pipes to midnight. Oh boy, it's a level with a freaking puzzle. Depending on the current time, different creatures go out and colored blocks disappear. Okay, well, that kind of explains stuff. Awesome. So we're gonna have to do something to figure this out. Okay. Okay, so that leads to this being unlocked, and it doesn't lead to that being unlocked. Nope, can't do anything with that. Okay, so maybe this is easier than I'm thinking. Yeah, because, okay, ghosts are out, and now that is open, as we try not to die like a dumbass, but... let's see, do I take the bottom path, or do I take the top path? Let's go to the top first. And that was a mistake. We need to go to the bottom, so we're going to the bottom here. Awesome. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward, I guess. Oh no, it's a stupid controller! Stop it! That's still not open. Okay, well, while the controller was being dumb, it was pointing me in the right direction, so that's what we need. We need to do that, and then we need to go up here and avoid the fire. And now we have massive slowdown, so that's really, really bad. Oh, controller, you piece of crap! Could you stop? Seriously, stop it! This is annoying. This is really, really annoying. It really is. So where are we gonna come up this time? There. We are coming up. Okay, that could have been a lot worse. That could have led to death, but it did not, which is good. I'm very happy about that. But as we get back to the subject of hand, the main topic that we were discussing when I got off on 5 billion tangents was violence in video games. And one of the things that I did see the other day was on my Twitter, someone had tweeted to Seamus, or SSOHBKC, if you don't know who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure you do, because he does Mario hacks, and if I haven't mentioned it before, he is my, he did inspire me to do the whole YouTube thing, which is pretty cool. So, you know, I'm happy that I'm doing that, but, okay, not sure what that was about. But someone had found, or someone that either watched CNN by sheer miracle or just randomly saw it, or someone that really likes to watch CNN that was a fan of his, had mentioned that CNN had used some of his footage in one of their, you know, video game debates about can we link, you know, violence in video games to causing violence in real life. And, you know, obviously that's not the case, because there have been a lot of studies, there have been studies done, which I don't understand why, you know, these news corporations won't take that into account. Well, I kind of do, and it's just that they have an agenda to push, and they're going to ignore pretty much everything having to do with discrediting discrediting them. So, you know, there's always that, which is fan-freaking-tastic. Way to go, you know, corporate media and all that stuff. So, but someone had linked an article to him, or a video, if you will. Oh yeah, Purple Clapper's insta-kill. But basically, someone linked him a video, and what happened was, towards the end of the video, CNN, who had been doing, like I said, a report on the links of violence to, you know, video games of violence and all that, had used a clip from one of his walkthroughs. Oddly enough, a walkthrough having to do with Grand Theft Auto 3, which is kind of like the poster child, along with Call of Duty and Halo and, you know, pretty much every other super violent video game, Manhunt. But, you know, GTA, or Grand Theft Auto, who has its fair share of controversy, especially with stuff like the hot coffee mod and whatever. Someone, I would assume one of their interns, because I know, you know, newscasters aren't going to go out and do actual investigative journalism, because, you know, who would do that? Who would do that? What is journalism? But they went out and found one of his videos. I'm sure they just went into YouTube and searched something like, you know, Grand Theft Auto or whatever, you know, something like that. And Seamus, being the popular guy that he is on YouTube with over 800,000 subs by now, that was probably one of the top searches. And they're just like, you know what, we're going to use this. And they did bring up, you know, they did mention Grand Theft Auto being one of the, you know, more violent video games and whatnot in their debate of sorts. But what they said was highly inaccurate, and I don't remember who the newscaster was. I just remember that she was a woman. And where does this lead to? Does that lead to anything? Nope, not yet. Doesn't lead to anything yet. But